with permutation, don't forget that order does matter. So the order that you put things in matters. Whether it's a race or class offices like president, vice president, some of that sort, order matters. Or even if you think about a playlist, like you have a certain playlist, like if you go back in and change that playlist, it's a totally different playlist. Like when it comes to your music and everything, so you could really, if you want to have songs in a specific order, you set a playlist. If you want to switch the order around, you can make a whole new playlist with the same ones, but it's a totally separate playlist. So the order matters there too. So here is the time, because I know some people are like, okay, Mr. Hall, well, you gave us the one that have the same numbers, but what happens if they're not the same numbers? What happens if they're different? What do we do there? And I'm glad you asked, because that's what we're doing right now. Because if you look, the symbol P in R denotes the number of permutations of n objects taken R at a time. And you're like, oh, that makes so much sense again, Mr. Hall. Yeah. So let's give you the formula. So in other words, P n, R equals n factorial over n minus r factorial. And it's important that you have your parentheses there to make sure that you can do it correctly and you have everything right. So again, that's n factorial over n minus r. So if there's two separate numbers. And again, another way of looking at that is like this. So you could either see it this way, then black, or you can see it this way in green. Either way means the exact same thing. They equal the same thing. This in green equals this part here. This part in black equals this part. So they mean the exact same thing. Okay, so some places you will see, and that I just said that right here. So some places you'll see this, but they mean the exact same thing. Now between n and r, because some people are like, well, how am I going to know which one is n and which one is r? Because they're two separate numbers or different numbers. The difference between n and r is that n is always the biggest number. N is always the biggest number. And the biggest number always comes first. So here, the n is the biggest number between the two. So if you have 5 and 2, that means 5 is the biggest number. That means that's n. And then 2 is r. The biggest number is always n. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move into the next example, and it's going to be cool.